Nation, welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, just want to go ahead and break this game down for you. The Indianapolis Colts winning against the New England Patriots. Before we do that, guys, just want to say this episode is presented by Prize Picks. Be sure to visit the Prize Picks app today and use the code JUICE for a free $50 when you get your first $5 lineup. The Indianapolis Colts, they win against the New England Patriots, coming off of that loss against the Lions, beating New England for the first time in Gillette Stadium since 2006. So nearly 2 decades. And the Indianapolis Colts find a way to win it. It was not a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination, but off of a last ditch effort for the Indianapolis Colts at the end and a 2-point conversion by Anthony Richardson, the Indianapolis Colts win it. So first things first, want to talk about the offense here. Again, the Indianapolis Colts offense, it wasn't pretty by any stretch, but it was still manageable despite all of the injuries that had happened to this Indianapolis Colts team. Remember, you had Bernard Ryman just coming back. You had Danny Pinter at center today, so he's your third center. You had Mark Lewinsky coming back for the first time today, and you had Matt Gonsalves playing at the right tackle position. So that right side of the line was a completely different line than what we have seen in this entire season. And it was the first time basically, what has it been, the last 5 weeks that the Indianapolis Colts got, or in the last at least 3 to 4 weeks, that the Indianapolis Colts actually got any kind of resemblance of an offense going in the run game. Jonathan Taylor, 25 carries today for 96 yards, even had one catch earlier in the game for 7 yards. So touched the ball 26 times for 103 yards. So Jonathan Taylor, much higher usage today and was actually relatively good, averaging almost 4 yards a carry. That's more of what we want to see from Jonathan Taylor going forward. It was definitely a better performance. Shout out to Anthony Richardson once again. Again, guys, Anthony Richardson, he has a few things he needs to work on still, no doubt. The inconsistencies are still there, and it's going to continue to be there for the rest of this season. And, potentially, even at the beginning of next year, potentially there could still be there. But what Anthony Richardson showed you was when you game plan for his strengths, which is getting the ball out quickly, getting the design runs for him, Anthony Richardson knows what he's doing. Final stat line, 12 carries or 12 of 24 today, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Also had 9 carries for 48 yards. So 157 yards in total and a rushing touchdown there as well. So 3 touchdowns today for Anthony Richardson. All 3 touchdowns came off of the back of Anthony Richardson. Again, the 2 interceptions, yeah, you gotta look to try to keep those around. There was a couple throws that he definitely tried to make that probably shouldn't have been there, and you're going to take chances on that every once in a while. But what you saw, even after throwing that second interception, when the game felt like it was over, 17-24, there was about, 5 minutes left? Or, yeah, like 6-7 minutes left. And the Colts get the one time that the Indianapolis Colts get a stop at 3 and out, and the one time that New England had to punt today, Anthony Richardson on a 5-minute drive, 5.5-minute drive, 19 plays for 80 yards and took it the distance and and went to score a touchdown. And let's not forget the there are two drops on that drive that could have easily had hindered Anthony Richardson in that offense. But on numerous occasions, Anthony Richardson has come up clutch. This is now the second time in the last 3 weeks since Anthony Richardson has come back. He has done exactly this, where they're down or they have a last minute to try to score a touchdown to win the game. And Anthony Richardson has done that twice now. Now, albeit, again, it was against bad teams, whatever. This is still a 22-year-old quarterback that is still trying to find his way. And his weapons were letting him down at times on some of those drops. Again, Granson had a big one. Adonai Mitchell had a big one. And that was just the last drive of the game. I didn't even count on one time that Granson could have had another catch on the sideline that Richardson had. I mean, again, Anthony Richardson has some things he needs to work on, no doubt. Maybe a little aggressive or a miss on a few throws here and there. But still needs help from his weapons every once in a while. And knowing that he was down Josh Downs, that's a huge loss for you. So guys had to pick up the slack. Once again, no sacks. Anthony Richardson, once again, not being sacked by anyone. Looking at the rest of the units, we talked about Jonathan Taylor. Passing game. Michael Pittman, 5 catches for 42 yards. Again, nothing insane. Drew Ogletree, 1 catch for 22 yards. Alec Pierce, 2 catches on 6 targets. Again, there was a lot of 50-50 balls for Alec Pierce and one that was intercepted. Alec Pierce was guarded very well today, and that honestly hurt the Colts' chances. Marlon Cox caught 2 of his catches for 2 of his targets for 15. Outside of that, there's really not a whole lot more to it. Kylan Granson had 3 targets, failed to catch any of them. Adonai Mitchell had 2 targets, did not catch either. So again, someone needs to step up in these big moments to help Anthony Richardson, and clearly nobody really is right now. So again, not disclosing it. Anthony Richardson needs to be better, but his weapons need to be better also. Yes, you're missing Josh Downs, but you need to be better. Offensive line wise, much better today. Obviously, you were able to run the football in a more effective rate. Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson today, 34 carries for 144 yards, just over 4 yards a carry with a touchdown. So again, it's not otherworldly, but it is a much more effective 144 yards than what we had seen in many weeks past. So much better job by the offensive line today, not allowing sacks as well. Richardson didn't face a ton of pressure today, so great job there. Going to the defense. Now that is where you start getting into the issues here. And I kind of want to break this down for you guys, because if you want to look at the entirety of the game, so the first drive, the New England Patriots went 11 plays for 60 yards on almost 6 minutes. The next drive, 8 plays, 57 yards, 4.5 minutes. The next drive, where obviously Anthony Richardson threw the interception, it put the defense behind the 8 ball. That was the one drive. They went 4 plays, 6 yards. They ended up kicking a field goal. They put it in. Yes. The next drive after that, 8 plays, 70 yards, 4.5 minutes for a touchdown. The last drive of the game, it was the first time and only time that the New England Patriots did not score. And they had 10 plays for 51 yards on 2.5 minutes. The only reason they did not score was because their kicker missed a field goal from 35 yards away. We got lucky with that one. He kicked it left. So we got lucky.
Well, the 2024 NFL season for the Indianapolis Colts is in full swing. And with that, wanted to share the sponsor of today's video, Prize Picks.
When it comes to Prize Picks, this is going to be a great way for you guys, especially, to check out some of the stuff that Prize Picks has.
You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You heard me right. Only 4 correct picks. You can win 100 times your money, guys, on Prize Picks. Be sure to sign up today and get $50 off instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed.
So if you're looking specifically for the Colts stuff, that's definitely something you guys should check out. But if you're looking for, like me, more NFL stuff, there's all sorts of stats and stuff that you can check out and make your picks. And there's definitely guys that are very consistent, like Jonathan Taylor against the Houston Texans, that you really feel like you can probably feel pretty good about overall, right? And there's some other ones where you're like, I don't know if I would take the over on that. I don't know if I would pick them to hit that margin, right? So guys, be sure to go check out all that stuff on Prize Picks. It's only a couple examples. There's all the different odds that you could hope for when it comes to that for Prize Picks. So I highly encourage you guys to go check that out, but definitely excited for this season, and hopefully you guys will be following along with us and everything with Prize Picks and what they do.
So be sure to download the app today. Use the code JUICE to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code JUICE to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Like I said, guys, it's a great way to continue to stay in with week to week life of the NFL, specifically with your favorite team, the Indianapolis Colts. So be sure to do that. Be sure to check out Prize Picks. And remember, Prize Picks, run your game.
And then, obviously, the next drive into the second half, the New England Patriots, 13-play drive, 67 yards, 6.5 minutes. Got lucky with the fact that Zaire Franklin knocked a ball free on Hunter Henry at the 1-yard line that resulted in an interception by Julian Blackmon at the goal line. Got really lucky. And then the next drive for the New England Patriots, 9 plays, 54 yards, 5.5 minutes, scored a touchdown. And then, obviously, the second to last drive for them, 3 plays, -3 yards, 2.5 minutes, they had to punt. So, again, what I'm pointing at here is, so we had 5 drives in the first half for them, and then 4 drives in the second half. So, New England scored on 5 of their 9 drives. The only reason they didn't score on the others, they missed a field goal, which should have been a chip shot for their kicker. I don't know how he missed it, but it was a chip shot and he missed it. But they still went all the way down the field. That interception, again, we got really lucky. They went all the way down the field. Should have scored, they didn't. Got lucky. Obviously, the punt, I give the defense credit in the fact that they got one stop. One stop. And then you got lucky with the fact that the Indianapolis Colts scored a touchdown, only gave the Patriots 12 seconds. Had the Patriots maybe had one more play, this game might have had a different outcome, honestly. So I'm not even going to give them the missed field goal at the end. So technically, New England scored 5 of 8. The only reason why they didn't score on 2 more was because of luck on our end. This defense today was god-awful. God-awful. The New England Patriots are 32nd in total yardage, guys. 32nd in total yardage per game. They get 280 yards per game. And they're also 31st in points per game. They average 16. They had those stats in the first half. They had those stats in the first half for the Indianapolis Colts. Drake May, 24 of 30, so 4 of 5, so he completed 80% of his passes for 238 yards, 1 touchdown, that 1 fluke interception. And amazingly enough, was sacked 4 times. I mean, I'm amazed that he was even sacked that much. And to be completely honest with you guys, we got lucky in the fact that they committed so many holdings on us. I mean, if that wasn't the case, or if 1 or 2 of those didn't get called, this probably would have been a different outcome. Today, the New England Patriots ran 31 times for 200 yards, guys. Ramondre Stevenson, 18 carries for 73 yards. Antonio Gibson, 7 carries for 62 yards, almost 9 yards a carry with a touchdown. Drake May had 5 carries for 59 yards. And Kendrick Bourne also had 1 carry for 6 yards. So the New England Patriots basically, the New England Patriots had 200 yards rushing today. And so for a combined total of 422 yards, we gave them 140 more yards today than their average. I mean, this was like one of the worst defensive performances I have ever seen from this team. We are so lucky that this New England offense was not better in the red zone. We're so lucky. So lucky. I mean, the tackling was atrocious. The lane coverage was terrible. You obviously forced 1 turnover. And again, that was a fluke. I can't emphasize it enough. It had nothing to do with skill. It had nothing to do with stopping anybody. But you got saved a couple times today because of some fluke fumble or fluke interception. And you got lucky with some players that ended up committing some penalties. They got penalized a lot more than we did today, which again helped a lot. But I don't know, guys. I think that there was truly, I don't know who I can give a praise to. The linebackers were terrible today. Zaire Franklin and EJ Speed. I don't care about the numbers. They were bad today. They were bad. The corners, I mean, the corners and safeties were all over the place today. You didn't get consistent pressure on Drake May. I mean, he was able to complete 80% of his passes. And then, of course, the defensive coordinator, I am so over Gus Bradley. I don't know how you allow this Patriots team to put these kinds of numbers up on you. Again, you are very lucky that this team did not have a slightly better day. Slightly better, this is a completely different outcome. You need to be firing Gus Bradley. I know they won't do it after a win. They won't do it after a win because that would look bad for optics. But that was an atrocious performance by the defense. And I obviously will blame Gus Bradley for a lot of it because, you devise the game plan, you devise the system. But also, I mean, I'm getting rid of Zaire's contract extension. I am. I'm not. I don't know if I'm re-signing EJ Speed. I don't know. I can't. I don't know what else I could do. I mean, it was so difficult to watch that defense today. It was atrocious. We gave up the same number of points, and I think we gave up the same number of yardage. We might have gave up more yardage to the Lions as we did here. I mean, it's really, really bad, guys. Really bad. So, and the other problem is, guys, so what happens is I'm also upset by it because when you look at this, right? So New England today had almost 10 more minutes of possession than we did. So that's the problem you get when you're talking about this Colts team is this is the perfect embodiment of it. When you as a defense continuously put your offense in a bad situation. Now, I mean, I'm not even talking about field position. Field position half the time doesn't matter. It really also depends upon when your offense is consistently staying off the field longer than the offense is for your team. Your offense a lot of times will find difficulties getting into rhythm because that 10 minutes that you're staying on the field longer than your offense, that 5 minutes, that can equal one more possession. Or if you decided to actually win the possession goal, that maybe gives your offense two possessions that the Colts offense doesn't get a chance to do because the defense fails to get off the field. And ultimately, the reason why it wasn't worse than what it was because those last two drives for the New England Patriots, they went for 2 minutes on that second to last drive because they went 3 and out for the one time in that game. And then the last drive, they had 12 seconds. So, I mean, this could have been even worse. This could have been like a 23 to 36 something, like, I mean, this could have been even worse. Needless to say, this defense should not be feeling proud and happy about this. They 100% should not be. The Indianapolis Colts, the offense deserves praise due to the fact that, despite all the pieces they were missing, despite all of this stuff, and despite the adversity, the offense was still able to put something together behind Anthony Richardson. They were at least able to establish a run game. They were at least able to have some good passes, despite the fact that Richardson threw a few picks and a few drops happened here and there. The Indianapolis Colts offense and the Colts offense at the end of the game was able to make it happen. Again, I tell you guys this, had the Colts given New England any more chances to go for that, had they given them 5-10 more seconds, this might have been a different outcome. I'm being completely honest. And I mean, that's probably why Shane Steichen wanted to go for it for 2, because he knew that if we tied this, he probably had an inclination New England might get the 30 yards that was needed to keep in. I mean, remember, their kicker kicked a 68-yard field goal. And he wasn't that far off. I think he was only about 3-4 yards off, maybe. I mean, imagine had he not had to kick a ball from the 50-yard line, right? Had he not only had to kick it from the 45, he would have made it. So, again, not a great performance by the offense today, but it was definitely far from their worst performance this year. There's still a lot of good things you can hang your hat on. As far as the defense goes, virtually nothing that you can talk about here. It was just a dumpster fire from start to finish. So, really bad stuff, but hopefully the Indianapolis Colts will continue to work this. And again, they are 6-7 now. They are going to be able to go into the bye week and get fully prepared for the Denver Broncos, which is going to be the most important matchup for you the rest of this season. So, I mean, and if Denver somehow loses to Cleveland and Indianapolis beats Denver in week 15, then the Indianapolis Colts then hold the 7th seed. So it's a huge, huge, huge game. Really hope that we can win this. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts.